So, time travel. It's a concept that's a staple in science fiction, and something we humans have been messing around with for quite some time. Travel. It's something that I've been really intrigued by recently, because we've somehow managed to make a bunch of different kinds that are completely different from one another. As I was doing research for this video, I found 7 different types of time travel in media that I'm going to analyze and then rank based off of how cool they are. So without further ado, this is the time travel tier list. The most common form of time travel is good old straightforward anything goes, which is when characters travel back and forth within their historical timeline. You'll see this in Back to the Future, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Hot Tub Time Machine, Doctor Who, and pretty much any time travel media where they screw around with a magical time travel that isn't backed in any real-world science. There's usually a magical doohickey for the actual time travel shenanigans. Is the concept of this fun? Yes! Would it be extremely stressful and easy to screw up? Also, yes. This type of time travel, like all the others on this list, except for Type 2, is the type of time travel where changes to the past absolutely will rewrite the future. The amount of time paradoxes that can be caused in these fictional universes is bonkers. I mean, literally in Back to the Future, a good chunk of the plot is Marty McFly accidentally seducing his mother in the past. In case you forgot, I would not want to risk those kinds of mistakes. But also just being able to go to whatever time you want is pretty cool. If I had access to time travel, I'd probably just do exactly what Bill and Ted did and gather a bunch of historical figures and put them in a room. Imagine King Henry V and Attila the Hun in the same room. Actually, don't. That sounds terrible. Anyways, I'm gonna say an anything goes kind of time travel is a classic and great for telling unique stories. A tier. The next form of time travel can be described as when changes to the past don't rewrite history, but they split the timeline into an alternate branch timeline, which doesn't change or erase the original timeline. You'd probably recognize this in the Marvel multiverse. I really don't like this kind of time travel. I feel like the multiverse is a concept that has become extremely overused in recent years. It's like the multiverse is just an excuse to make more movies and pointless crossovers and 30 different TV shows on Disney Plus that the average consumer is never going to watch. Because of the oversaturation of the Marvel multiverse, I and many others have become incredibly bored with the concept of the multiverse. There's just not really any stakes. Earlier I mentioned that the anything goes kind of time travel, there's a lot of risk. But this one there's almost none besides the guilt that would come if you destroyed your timeline and then hopped over to another undestroyed one. And even then, it's a get out of jail free card. Despite this one issue I have, you can still do everything you can do with an anything goes kind of time travel, which automatically bumps it up a few points. I just think all the extra timelines would really complicate if you're Bill and Ted and you're trying to return a bunch of historical figures to their original timelines. C tier. When characters traveling off-world experience time slower than elsewhere in the universe, allowing them to move forward in time but not backward. It's based upon our scientific understanding of how time slows down as you approach the speed of light. This is a forward-only type of time travel. There's no going backwards. First, I'm going to acknowledge that this is a really cool type of time travel for storytelling, like in Interstellar and Planet of the Apes. But this would also suck to experience. It's completely out of your control and has way more negative repercussions than positive. However, we are ranking this based on coolness. And as a concept, it's pretty cool. And you can tell pretty thought-provoking and emotional stories with it. But still, it would be really scary to experience. I'm gonna go with B tier. In this form of time travel, all of time is fixed on a predestined loop, in which the very act of time travel itself sets the events into motion. It's a type of time travel you see in Terminator and Terminator 2. This one can be very confusing, but it is kind of cool how it makes you question if who this is affecting ever had free will in the first place. I don't like how there's no choice involved. Whatever happens just kind of happens. Honestly, in my opinion, this kind of time travel is really gimmicky and really difficult to do right. Plus, in most cases, it would not be fun to experience this. So honestly, I think I'm gonna go with D tier. First D tier, baby. Groundhog Day. Fair warning, I'm probably gonna rate this one way higher than I should because of just how intriguing it is to me. I like it a lot. The concept of Groundhog Day is a time loop. Characters relive the same day over and over, resetting back to a respawn point once they die or become incapacitated. Honestly, that sounds like the best worst case scenario humanly possible. Like, literally just imagine being thrown into a situation like that. You have infinite freedom to do whatever you want, but you're trapped in the same day forever. If I was in that situation, my enjoyment would probably depend on what day it is. In Groundhog Day, Bill Murray's character Phil Connors gets trapped in a day that he already hated. If I got trapped in one of the best days of my life, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. I do have to take into consideration, though, how eventually it will get stale and I will get sick of it, because that's how humans are. But it's cool as hell as a concept, and I can't get enough of it when movies utilize it. No joke. S tier. Put it in S tier. Yeah. When a character's body or object becomes physically detached from the flow of time within the surrounding universe, becoming inverted or younger, and only certain objects or bodies are unstuck from time. The Christopher Nolan film Tenet coined this type of time travel inverted entropy. Like the concept of the multiverse, this one comes from the realm of quantum mechanics and theoretical physics. It's basically freezing time, if that wasn't clear in the super long description I just gave. I like thinking about this one, but I don't think it's the most interesting of the bunch. For telling fictional stories, it's pretty limited, and I can't think of any real-world uses other than deception. Super speed is a much cooler way to freeze time, in my opinion. Have you seen Quicksilver? I'm gonna go with C tier. Solid, but could be way better. When consciousness transports through time within a character's body in different ages. If you've ever played Before Your Eyes or watched all of Lost, you're probably familiar with this kind of time travel. For storytelling, this is incredibly fascinating. Feelings of nostalgia and dreams of the future are part of the human experience that can be explored through a different lens using this kind of time travel. I may be biased because Before Your Eyes is amazing, which, by the way, if you don't know, Before Your Eyes is a game where you go through someone's life, but every time you blink in real life, it jumps forward to another time of their life. Flashes of the past are also sometimes used in TV and movies. This time travel is a unique way to do these kinds of flashes and create the whole story around it, and the character literally being there. I've seen it used in a different way in Stranger Things, when characters are thrown into the past when they aren't literally there. They're just kind of watching. Kind of like a branch of this kind of time travel. I'm gonna rank this one A tier. And that's the time travel tier list. Thanks for